Clashes between the Syrian army and pro-Turkish forces were reported in Tadef, south of Al-Bab, on March the 12th. The Sultan Murad division, which consists of Turkmens, released a statement saying that 3 Syrian army soldiers had been captured by the Free Syrian Army near the Al-Bab silos. If confirmed, a notable level of tension between pro-Turkish and Syrian forces would remain in the area. This would also mean that Ankara cannot, or does not want to, control its proxies to avoid this. Russian and Syrian military personnel were spotted in the town of Manbij, which is controlled by the US-backed Syrian Democratic Forces (SDF), which consists mostly of the Kurdish People's Protection Unit's YPG. Photos confirm an intensification of contacts between the Syrian army and the SDF, and the unpublicized Russian-US cooperation in the area. Intense clashes took place between the Syrian army and ISIS in the area of the Jahar airbase. Last week, the Syrian army's Tiger forces reached the ISIS-held airbase and successfully entered it. At one point, government troops even had tactical control over the site, but they failed to consolidate their gains. Since then, ISIS had conducted a number of counterattacks to push government troops back from the area. Government forces are now holding positions near the airbase. The Syrian military is reportedly concentrating significant numbers of military personnel and equipment for a military operation against Hayat Tahrir al-Sham militants in western Aleppo. Local sources and media activists report a high presence of pro-Iranian militias, fighters of the Syrian Social Nationalist Party, and other pro-government groups in the area. The US-backed SDF has captured the village of Kas Ajil, 48 kilometers southeast of Raqqa, and has reached the Al-Rai Channel near Jadidat Khabur. The US State Department declared that Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS, and all factions which merged with it are now considered by the US to be a terrorist group. This statement is similar to the position held by the Russian-Syrian-Iranian alliance on this moderate opposition faction operating in the Syrian province of Idlib. In form, HTS is a coalition of militant groups led by Jabhat Fatah al-Sham, formerly Jabhat al-Nusra, the Syrian branch of al-Qaeda. Indeed, Jabhat Fatah al-Sham has absorbed several smaller groups operating in Idlib. Saudi Arabia is the main sponsor of the group and uses it as its tool in the Syrian war. HTS has repeatedly made significant efforts to sabotage any kind of peace talks involving more moderate parts of the so-called Syrian opposition and conducts numerous terrorist attacks against civilians. Last weekend, the group claimed responsibility for a double suicide bombing in Damascus, which killed over 40 and injured 120 other people, mainly Iraqi pilgrims. Meanwhile, the Trump administration officially aims at expanding and strengthening US ties with Saudi Arabia.